Dear students, welcome to my classroom of research methodology in history. I will be giving you some insights on research methodology in history with special emphasis on time, space, and human agency. What is research methodology? To knowing research methodology, it's important for us first to decode or decipher research. Research means inquisition. Research means quest for knowledge. Research means how you are engulfing yourself to the ocean of wisdom. Research means how you are contributing from your end for the growth and development of the society. Research means how much you are dedicated and religious towards your duties and responsibilities for others. Research means discovering new things, new ideas, new discourses, new perceptions. Research means you are showing the light of knowledge to others so that they could follow your footsteps and be productive in the field of academia. Research means be ethical, be honest, and also to have a fraternity of the researchers so that we can do the greatest good of the greatest number of people. It might be an individual attempt, it might be a collective method, but definitely research means the betterment of this world and to have equality or equity. Now, I will give you some ideas about methodology. When we are following certain ideas, formulas, methods to make our research more analytical, fruitful, constructive. With this note, I would like to begin my lecture. What is history? This is important, I guess, before understanding the various facets related to history and research techniques. History means something which is trying to have an impact on our minds so that we can think better, we can live better, and we can do better. History is a subject which helps us to understand continuity. That continuity is something which helps us to know that where we are standing, how can we improve ourselves, what we have learned from our mistakes in the past, and how can we have a holistic world for all. History is a branch of social sciences. History is also a branch of moral sciences as well. That through history we preach morality, through history we preach ethics, through history we talk philosophy. History has its own philosophy. That philosophy is very much important to know the crux of history or the essence of history. History is mysterious because we are not in a position till now to define history, as It's like a river or a stream or a fountain. It's endless. It's immortal. History is always alive because we live in history, we read history, we make history, and we change history. History talks humans. We are the components of history. History is a subject which is very much psychosocial and analytical. History reflects critical thinking. History talks innovations. History talks magic. What magic I am talking about? The magic of revolutions, the magic of being non-conventional or being non-conformists. Because this magic of thinking something new or breaking the chains had always changed the fate of the civilizations. If I give you the examples of French Revolution in France, American War of Independence in America, or India's struggle for freedom. All these events are the historical events, but they changed the path of the human civilizations. They made their existence inevitable not only in the history books but also in our minds, so that we can be inspired with the ideals of these great revolutions or the struggles. If I take the example of the French Revolution, which taught us equality, liberty, and fraternity, all are very much significant to have a life of respect and dignity. Marx talked on scientific socialism. Perhaps that concept carries the legacy of French Revolution, where we talked on equality for all. This is history, which is human, subjective, emotional, objective, and specific. With this regard, I would like to say a few words on my understanding of time, space, and human agency. In my academic script and PPT, you will get a lot of information on these concepts. But what I feel, it's very important for the students as well as for the facilitators to experience before having a conversation or a dialogue about a particular theme. How do we experience, which happened long time back? It's not possible for us to visualize those events. We cannot time travel with the help of time machine, but we can visualize those events with the help of our thoughts and analysis. We cannot have time travel, but we can have mind travel. That means we can try to read the minds of the people who belonged to a particular time or period. That is the importance of time in history, where we are trying to know the minds of the people of a particular phase or time. History has an intimate connection with time. Without periodization, without the existence of time, it's not possible for us to know the historical developments or evolution. Time is everything. Time is the essence of civilizations. Time is the essence of the growth and development of humans. Time means evolution. Time is spiritual. Time is divine. Time is scientific as well as religious. If I would like to give you an idea about time, then I must say few words about the thinkers who thought about time, starting from Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Then we have Galileo, Isaac Newton, and later on Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and others. What Einstein thought that time is still relevant. Thoughts of Einstein I am talking about. Einstein talked on theory of relativity, that according to him, time is relative. Time depends on our existence. Time talks about where we are and how we are progressing or we are facing any crisis. So, the presence of us in the context of time is something which is not static, rather it has the component of what I can say that not being static, and it is something which has a continuous flow. So, Einstein was talking about time which is relative, which is not static, which has a flow. That means time is motion. If I give you the example of Stephen Hawking, like how he tried to describe time in his book, A Brief History of Time. In that book, he talked on Big Bang theory. Also, he talked on black hole theory. All are the parts of physics or astrophysics. Einstein also talked on physics. But here we find something which is, apart from being a scientific matter, talks something subjective as well. When Stephen Hawking, he highlighted the unifying theory, it meant that something is common between all of us, and we are in a world where that particular commonness is binding us and we are having something common or something in general. A bond which is invisible, that is unifying us, and that can be the nature, can be the cosmic world, can be the other forces which we cannot explain. That means perhaps through this unifying theory, he talked the presence of the divine or the supreme or God. So his creation theory is very much interesting, not only from the perspective of science, but also from the perspectives of philosophy and religious perceptions. Here we find the concept of time very much pertinent, or in a very much clear manner or transparent manner, because when he talked on time. He wanted to explain how this universe has created what are the matters which form the universe and the continuity. This continuity is also a part of history that I have already mentioned. Here, I want to say a few words from my understanding of Immanuel Kant's vision of time. According to him, time is definitely empirical, but time also depends on our experience of the outer world, like how we are experiencing ourselves in this world, that is also determining the time where we belong. So these concepts of defining time is important, but I will say that time has no definite definition as well, as per my knowledge on time. If we would like to have a religious or spiritual or philosophical understanding of time, then I would like to start with the Hindu religion. In Hindu philosophy, how the time has been described by the ancient writers. They talked on time or Kal, and they also talked about the Kal Chakra or the cycle which depicts time. And as per the time, in our Hindu religion, we have the yugas: Satya, Treta, Dapar and Kali. This historicization of time is also a part of history, especially to discuss the history of early medieval India. So that concept of time is also a part of understanding history of early medieval period, because these are the religious perceptions, but they have social implications to justify the mindset of the traditional Hindu religion or the Brahmanical infrastructure, which was not at all ready to accept the fusion or the changes which we started witnessing from the Muslim era onwards. This is something where we can find the historicity of time, or why we are studying time. Dear students, as I was talking about time, the concept of time, which is, according to my understanding, is very much philosophical, religious, scientific, and also metaphysical. So time is very much important for history. Time and history, they are like day and night. They are inseparable. And time has more meaningful existence in the presence of space. Like time, space is also a concept of physics. Space means we are talking about a three-dimensional continuum where time can be also considered very much significant. Here also we find an intimate connection between time and space. Without space, we cannot define or evaluate time. Space is something which is having a definition as per physics, and also it is having some kind of a shape, an imaginary shape with some geometric formulas or laws. But we need to understand space from the perspective of philosophy as well. Those who talked on time, like Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Kant, they also talked on space as well. Space means where time gets fulfilled, where time is being utilized to a great extent. Space means the playground for time to act. Time talks motion. Space also talked motion. Time cannot be motionless. That is also applicable for space. Space is something where we are experiencing emptiness, and that emptiness can be defined with the help of time, because time is unique in the context of space. If we talk on the times of the ancient world, then definitely the space and time of the ancient world are unique with regard to their socio-cultural, economic and political parameters. These are abstract ideas, but definitely they are very much powerful to understand the society. They are the guiding forces to determine the societal factors or the sociology of the human beings or of the civilization. Both time and space are helping us to have critical thinking with regard to the unique features of any particular civilization or of any community or of the human beings as a whole. So, this time and space, they are correlated, and space is the invisible platform where time acts and produces society, economy, culture, politics, and the other facets where humans are instrumental. How can we define time and space? That is also very much unclear, because these topics related to physics or metaphysics are not understandable by the people who belong to the world where perhaps we are not that much giving emphasis to the knowing of these concepts. For that, we need specialized expertization. Not all of us are the physicists or the people who are doing metaphysical or hypothetical researches. These are the part of not only science, also the part of philosophy of history. As I'm talking about time and space and why are they important in history, then I must say that for our understanding at the grassroots level, that time and space are the two strong pillars to know history or to historicize ourselves. Without time and space, we cannot situate ourselves in any particular civilization, and also we are not in a position to write history accordingly. And here comes the third or the last segment of my lecture, that where I am discussing about humans. I have already discussed everything because time, space, human agency, these three are interrelated. Who are the historians? Who will write history which is based on time and space? We, the humans. By this way, human agency is important to decipher time, to decode space, and also to write history. Space is personal. Space is public. Space is political. Space is cultural. Space is economic. Space is religious. And space has many orientations and identities. So it is something which is lucid or flexible, and it's like water that it can take any shape. That depends on time. That's why space and time are integral part of understanding the evolution of the civilizations. Who are noticing this uniqueness? Who are trying to put space in a bowl where we are also adding time, and we are having a mixture of space and time to understand the lives of the humans? Who are having this kind of observations? We. That's why space, time, and human agency, three are very much important to locate or situate any particular civilization or to write the story or history of any specific civilization or any particular civilization. So, I'm talking about the relationship between time and space and humans. So, time and space, they are having a great impact on society, especially if we would like to situate or locate a particular civilization, and if we want to decipher or decode the impact of that particular civilization. So, time and space are like having a commonness, and they are inseparable, that I have already mentioned. Space has no definition. Everything is space to us. Space can be private, it can be public, it can be cultural, it can be political, it can be religious, it can be spiritual. Space means the existence of the human beings, and space can be better defined or contoured with the help of time. Similarly, time gets more importance or value if we situate time in a particular space to understand the progress or the development which took place depending on a particular time, and that time is very much focused on the space which was given to a particular period or to a particular time. So all are having a relationship which is very much dialectical. That's why I must say Hegel and later on Marx, when they developed their theories on dialecticism, they gave utmost priority of understanding time and space. Space has no shape. Wherever you are putting space, it is taking the shape of that particular object. It's like water, and if you are adding space in a glass, to understand its intensity, then that glass is obviously time. And what is the role of human agency with this regard? To understand or to situate or to conceptualize or to structure time and space and to philosophize their existence, to know the development of the humans better. That's why human agency is important, to locate, to situate, to conceptualize, to historicize time and space. It's a kind of constructionalist approach which talks on structure or structuralism, that we are constructing. We are trying to give a particular structure to time and space. I would like to end my lecture with the understanding of mine about the book by Stephen Hawking, that where he talked the emergence or the genesis of this universe in the light of cosmic theories or cosmology, where he ends with that kind of note that this creation theory is not always being defined with the help of science. There are some forces which are working continuously, which cannot be explained with the help of science, or more specific with the help of physics, and which is uniting us. It is also a part of his unifying theory that might be something which is what I can say divine, or he perhaps talked God. If someday we will be able to decode his theory, then definitely we will be able to understand divinity or the presence of the Supreme Soul. So there is no, what I can say, confrontation between science and religion, because all are as the part of the unifying theory as mentioned by Stephen Hawking, where time, space and human agency play the most pivotal role. Thank you.